So, remember in the last video when I said I totally wasn't making it just to farm comments from Call for an Uprising's fans? Well, that wasn't a lie. I didn't do it just for that reason, but that was certainly what I expected to happen. So today, we're going to take a look and see exactly what type of fans Call for an Uprising cultivates, and hopefully we can have a good time while doing it. Alright guys, let's roll that intro. Alright guys, welcome back. We got a fun one in store today. Now, I guess that really depends on your operative definition of fun, but we got fan art first, so let's go into that. First, we have a couple of Birdie Boot Services by Bront/Briar. This is Very Ram Service by Jack and Quill. And it looks like I've been remade in the video game world by Allison. Thank you all very much for your fan art submissions, and let's get into the comment submissions. So I thought this was going to be a pretty quick and easy project, right? I decided, hey, I'm going to go ahead and farm some of the comments from the Call for an Uprising videos, and we'll see what happens. What happened, though, was that I got 275 different screenshots, and that's not counting all of the comments. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over a few of these right now, and then make a little announcement at the end of the video. My goal here is, 1, catharsis. I desperately need to poke fun at some of this stuff. I'm of the opinion that if you're okay taking pot shots at me on the internet, I can take pot shots at you. Secondly, I want to showcase the kind of fans that Call for an Uprising has. The kind of toxic cesspool that a fan base like his breeds. Hopefully you can use this in order to identify toxic elements in your own fandoms. That said, let's begin.
How many of you fuckers are paid to leave negative comments? I bet most if not all of you are working for the government, and this channel has a bullshit! Wake up! They're trying to brainwash you. I hate this stupid cartoon character. Also, that is a bad idea for the record, so do more studies and figure out what is better to use to help brainwash the population. The fact is, no one trusts the government, no more, period. So good luck with trying to gain back our trust. Not gonna be easy, nuh-uh. You can blame yourself for that.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and break this one down point by point. First of all, it takes an incredibly conspiratorial mindset where you believe and have the delusion that everyone is out to get you to believe that a random channel on the internet must be paid opposition funded by the United States government. And yeah, you can make fun of my channel for using a cartoon avatar, but between the fact that I like the aesthetic of it, the branding of it, and the history behind the actual avatar, but at the end of the day, because I'm a functioning adult, I don't care. Also, I'm like 90% certain that you meant I needed to research the different ways that had been used to brainwash the population, not actively try to find better ways. And yeah, there are things that our government has done that have been unscrupulous, like Project MKUltra. It's the reason why I don't personally trust the government myself. But the thing is, though, people like you keep on trying to claw that rabbit hole even larger, even when that rabbit hole doesn't go as far as you want. And I guess I can blame myself for that, since that's how your comment ended. I mean, I guess if I was a government shill, maybe, but I don't make that kind of money. If I did, I could probably fix our well. We've got, like, no water pressure. And YouTube still hasn't given me that paycheck from when my channel got stolen. I'd imagine if I was working for the US government, I might have a little more say in how that gets handled. But, alrighty, next one.
You really love Call, huh? How many videos do you have on him, Lamau?
Well, no, I don't love Call. Hell, I wouldn't even call up Call for a one-night stand. As for how many videos I have on him, I have 3. Out of 400. If dedicating less than 1% of my time in a given day is considered loving someone, then I can at least understand why so many of you love the Christian God, since he dedicates even less of his day into loving you. I'm sorry that your relationship is less than parasocial, but at the end of the day, Yahweh's just not that into you.
Your faith in science is blind! Go read a Bible, please!
I think you and I might have very different definitions of faith. If we use the version of faith that's actually in the Bible, like what's described in Hebrews, then no, I don't have faith, because faith would be evidence in things not seen. I'm more comfortable saying that I have confidence, given that science has actually yielded results, like, I don't know, this microphone I'm recording with, the keyboard that you personally typed that out on, all wonders of engineering birthed by the foundational knowledge granted to us by the scientific method. Thanks for that. I could also point out that the Bible is only going to be an authority on theological discussions, not necessarily things about reality. The study of the natural world is more where science comes in. That's like literally how it categorically functions. But I'm not going to play fallacy bingo with you right now and hit you for a category error. You try to sound smart, but you are not. The reason why they don't want to die is because they are worried about having a pitchfork shoved up their rear end in hell. He never said he doesn't like people who are afraid of dying. He said that people who are all like, oh, I want to live forever, the only way to live forever is through Jesus Christ. Oh, must say that your cartoon character is the most cringeworthy thing I have ever seen in my life. You need to get a life. Says the guy screaming into the aether on a YouTube video. I mean, it's what I do for a living, but, whatever. This comment was obviously on the Call for an Uprising video I did a while back about people who fear death. In that, I made the argument that the fear of death is functionally a fear of change. Everything changes after you're dead. Either you will never be able to experience anything ever again, or the life you stepped into will never allow you to experience the pleasures of this life ever again. In either case, there's a fundamental change happening, and that change is absolutely terrifying. There's also a running theme with a lot of these comments, where several of Call's fans say that I've put words into his mouth, but generally speaking, I just play his words on screen. And if any of his fans are so worried that I'm taking him out of context, I provide the full context in the video in the description, like all the time. By the way, people who say they want to live forever are not fundamentally different from Christians who want to live forever through Christ. It's the exact same thing, it's just the mechanism you're using. And of course, another cartoon character cringy comment, ha 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 ha. You're a fucking idiot! Why yes, thank you for noticing.
FluorideAlert.org. There's a lot of studies to show the correlation of low IQ and fluoride. BTW, your quick talk and speedy rhetoric makes you sound smart, bro. And why aren't you attacking the doctors like Dr. Andrew Kaufman that are bare bones tearing this pandemic hysteria apart and are saying that vaccines are not helpful and are actually worse for you? Like, when people get the flu shot and get the flu, LOL. There is no pandemic, and you know it. But you aren't saying anything about, and based on your previous video, you are telling your, quote, fans, unquote, that are supposedly dropping everything to watch your video, that the virus exists.
Okay, so let's start off with why haven't I talked about Dr. Andrew Kaufman? Because I haven't heard about him until now. Based on the little bit of research I've been able to do, it looks like he's actually a forensic psychiatrist. This is a branch that deals with the assessment and treatment of offenders in prisons, secure hospitals, and communities with mental health problems. What he is not is an epidemiologist, which means that he doesn't actually specialize in the field that would be dealing with the pandemic we're dealing with right now. This also means that his field doesn't deal in vaccine research or any of that, so him speaking with authority on any of those topics, that is a massive faux pas. So now that I've done some research into him, I can honestly say the other reason I'm not talking about him is because he doesn't fucking matter. Also, considering that I have two friends who have actually caught COVID-19, yeah, the virus exists. Would that I lived in your fairy tale world. But I don't. Also, the website you linked there, Fluoride Alert, taking some time to scroll through the website has shown a lot of really skewed misinformation. I'll be providing yet another article down below that actually goes into the health benefits versus the health issues with fluoride, but one of the reasons that website states that fluoride is bad is because of the negative health effects that fluoride can have on you. However, studies have shown that for any of these negative effects to actually occur in the human body, you have to be consuming more than 30 times the amount of fluoride that is present in the United States water supply, given how much water an average person would drink. This means that you would have to be literally ingesting your toothpaste, drinking shit tons of fluoridated water, and then taking the fluoride via tablet wholesale in order to even get close to the amount of fluoride required for you to actually suffer these negative results. I'm not going to sit here and say I love fluoride or anything, but what I hate is misinformation.
Goof clown nerd! Chemtrails definitely exist, are you stupid? LMAO, I'm Cirrus, I think I know everything, but really, I'm just a stupid idiotic nerd who's never been laid.
Okay, well, I think that anybody who's actually spent even, like, a few seconds on my channel knows that I'm poly and have multiple partners, so I'm glad that you used the exact same methodology when fact-checking anything Call says before making your statement. That is, I'm glad you were incredibly lazy, and I got to get a laugh out of you.
Please, do not follow him, and invest some time and do your own research. Don't be fooled.
Well, anybody can do their own research where my channel's concerned. I provide the sources that I use in the description, and then of course people are able to use their own sources as they please. So yeah, I actually agree with this one. Go ahead, do some research.
3 minutes is incredibly long? You might be the dumb one here, pal.
So everything's relative. For me, a 40-minute video essay isn't actually that long. I sit down and listen to those all the time. However, on a video response channel, where generally I respond to points one by one, 3 minutes of another person's content without any breaks in between is actually considered pretty long, relatively speaking. Nothing real funny here, I just figured I'd comment on it. I guess I also have to be angry about this for some reason. Okay, Cot 1710, you am the dumb. There, I've fulfilled my quota of being upset, I guess.
Cirrus id a paid opposition paid to lie.
Welcome to the family, son.
Sorry, I've been playing too much Resident Evil 7. If I was paid opposition, again, I might be able to afford my well repairs. But I also love when people say that I'm paid opposition or a government shill because they never actually have any evidence that that's the case. They usually desperately need to believe their own narrative that there is paid opposition to what they are saying, because otherwise, A, they're wrong, and B, the world they've constructed around themselves is a delusion. I'm sorry, thank God, the Lizardmen are not paying me to work on my channel. They're paying Logic.
Don't be fooled by this, Surrey. Please, do your own research. A call for an uprising is 100% correct. Hitler used fluoride to make his prisoners docile, easier to control. Fluoride is a byproduct of the aluminum industry and made the residents' teeth turn black after drinking the contaminated water from the runoff. Look at the warning on your toothpaste. Fluoride is used in rat poison. How do you control the dosage of fluoride we use in everything? Drinking water. We bathe in it. We cook with it.
Well, for one, the way you control that dosage, just so you know, is by measuring the amount of liquids that somebody would imbibe from public sources via cooking, drinking, etc. You take the maximum amount that one would usually imbibe over the course of a day, and then you make sure that the amount of fluoride in the water is safe if ingested in those amounts. This is why someone would have to imbibe 30 times the amount of fluoride in the water supply right now that they consume on an average basis in order to actually even begin suffering any side effects. And that's 30 times the amount over a long period of time. Taking 1 day on a fluoride binge is not going to cause skeletal fluorosis. Would you like to know what else is used in rat poison? Dihydrogen monoxide. Ooh. Just because an item is an ingredient in an thing you don't like doesn't suddenly make it an the bad. Moreover, where rat poison is concerned, the 4 common active ingredients are anticoagulants, cholecalciferol, bromethylene, and phosphides. Fluoride is not the active ingredient that kills rats, and it's not an active ingredient that's going to be killing you and your toothpaste anytime soon. But on that note, did you know that there's actually a fluoride ion battery? Does that mean that you're now consuming batteries when you have fluoride? No, it doesn't, because that's not how ingredients work.
Cirrus, you sound like the biggest goof, LMAO nerd. You prob love Bill Gates.
Well, no, I don't love Bill Gates, mainly having to do with the fact that he's a billionaire, and I think that people who are billionaires naturally have to exploit people to get to that stage in life. As a leftist, I am categorically against billionaires. So, no, I don't love Bill Gates.
No, you're 100% wrong. And this is because you're taking a call for an uprising out of context, and primarily because you ain't biblically literate. Call doesn't fear death because of salvation, eternity with Jesus, John 3:16, but the unsaved have fear because they do not know with certainty if there's even an afterlife. You are obviously an evolutionist, and seeing this from a worldly sinner's perspective. I pray that you find Jesus and get salvation in them. Otherwise, I'll eat your ass for turning the frogs gay.
Okay, so first of all, you and I both need to understand that knowledge and belief are 2 separate things, but knowledge is a subset of belief. You believe that you're going to be going to heaven. That does not mean that you know you're going to be going to heaven. If you happen to go to heaven and you believed, then yeah, I'll go ahead and call that knowledge, whatever. But right now, you only believe. You have no way of demonstrating that you know that. Secondly, that is the least pain I have ever experienced when doing an Alex Jones impersonation. Thirdly, obviously an evolutionist. I mean, yeah, I believe in evolution because evolution's a fact. We have a working theory around why it works, but evolution itself is a thing that happens. I mean, if you don't believe me, just look at the common cold. That thing is constantly evolving, preventing us from being able to properly treat it. But what's actually going on here is your attempt to discredit anything I'm saying by saying that I am categorically the other. I am obviously an evolutionist. I obviously have a worldly center's perspective. This means that you now get to discredit anything I say. This is what's called the ad hominem fallacy. If you are going to take who I am as your metric for whether or not you can believe what I'm saying, then you're engaging in ad hominem. Who I am has no bearing on what I'm saying. Let's take your boy Call for an Uprising as an example. I personally think that I couldn't trust anything that comes out of his mouth, but if he told me tomorrow that the sky was blue, I'd believe him because I have evidence the sky is blue. Insofar as we can even say that color exists. I don't say we can say color exists. But the point being, the ontological value of the sky's color exists completely separately from anything that Call says. I may determine that certain things he says are untrustworthy because of the source, but the truth value of the things he's saying has no bearing on the source. Please keep that in mind when someone tries to lump you in a category that makes you the other or the opposition when arguing with you. It's an attempt to discredit anything you say before you actually get an opportunity to say it.
This channel is literal trash, and this guy is putting words in a Call for an Uprising's mouth. He isn't even listening to the whole thing I Call says.
I assure you, I listened to every ting Call said, and it was bullshit.
People fear death because obviously they're dying and going to be judged. Christian or not, death is coming no matter what. We die by getting old or anything, but you don't have to fear death because you'll have a perfect body and eternal life with God. Plus, who the hell wants to be a part of this world? There's so much BS going on day by day, all the time. I'm a Christian, and I understand where a Call for an Uprising is coming from, but think what you will. That's why God gave us free will, after all, to make our own decisions.
I absolutely love the free will argument when it comes to God, because free will implies that you actually have choices, and the choice between heaven and hell is an ultimatum, and ultimatums do not leave room for choice. That is what makes them ultimatums. Moreover, if your God is omniscient, you don't actually have room to make any choice at all. Free will is a wonderful illusion. If God knows that you're going to be jumping up in the air at 10:53 a.m. tomorrow morning, guess what you're going to be doing tomorrow morning? You're going to be jumping up in the air at 10:53 a.m. God being omniscient alone does not allow for any measure of free will to exist at all. This is ignoring the ultimatum issue where heaven and hell is concerned. So you can argue all day about being able to make your own decisions, but at the end of the day, I'm going to make the decision to look at you and poke holes in your argument.
I only found this whack-ass video looking for one of his. You even put his channel in the title, trying to get his supporters over. I don't believe in idol worship, so I'm not a fan. I just like his ideas. Lame-ass video.
If you clicked my video thinking that it was one of Call's, considering that my thumbnail style is completely different from his, and you can actually see the channel icon letting you know that this is not his channel, you can also look at the actual name of the channel and see that this isn't his channel. I can understand why Call's fans get so confused and gullible whenever he says anything, because they click with a knee-jerk reaction onto videos thinking that by it saying Call for an Uprising, it must be a Call video. But I've done nothing with my videos to make it even look like mine are his. It's that level of Type 1 thinking surface analysis that gets you to the conclusions that Call makes, and it's why his channel's been able to grow to several 100,000 subscribers. People are gullible. You are gullible. Stop being gullible.
Cyrus, you are a dumbass.
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. I'm glad you noticed.
Call for an Uprising is trying to wake the world up to what the government is doing to us. Only we can stop what's happening. And so far, he's right about everything. Wake up, America!
No YouTuber is right about everything. No human being is right about everything. If you think that your idol is right about everything wholesale, then you have drunk the Kool-Aid. Completely and totally. You're literally taking the things he's said at face value, and because a Call for an Uprising has said them, they must be true. When you say so far everything he's said is right, this is where you get. This is where that mentality gets you. It is nightmarish levels of gullibility. I've been wrong in videos before. I have several videos with addendums on them where I've had to make corrections, and I've even deleted a handful of videos when I think that they've been that bad and the misinformation was that strong. Because I'm not always right, because I'm a human being. No one is always right, because everyone's a human being.
It's okay. Keep up this lie and keep working for 'em. There is a nice place in hell for you.
Oh boy, I love getting threatened with hell, don't you? Isn't it just the best expression of Christian love ever? When they tell you exactly where you're going to be burning and exactly what the smell of the sulfuride in your flesh is going to be when it's peeling off? Isn't that just lovely? Doesn't it just make you want to be a Christian when they're so loving that the only thing they can engage in is performative cruelty? Note, I'm being facetious here. I'm not saying that all Christians engage in performative cruelty. Obviously, they don't. I have several fans who are Christians and several friends who are Christians who are the nicest people in the world. I also have Call for an Uprising people who I have to point out that they're just being assholes to.
Bitch boy.
I included this one for fun. Next.
If you're so correct on these things, then why delete my comments? You're sending them to hell. You're literally the worst kind of person. Lil bitch made boy. Haha, this fuck deleting my comments. What a bitch. I don't care if you think I'm a mad crazy person, but just know that one day shit ain't gonna be sweet anymore when that knife is around your throat. I want you to remember this video, loser. And you're gonna be responsible for leading these idiots who follow you into hell. Just to let you know that. And the whole time, he's just talking. Lazy ass editing.
Yeah, I am lazy when I edit on this channel. It's because this channel is about the actual arguments, not necessarily the visual aids. Could this channel be improved if I were using more visual aids and spent more time on them? Yes, it could, and I'd like to do that, but I don't have the time to. And the time that I'm spending on those visual aids is currently dedicated to my side project, which is my gaming channel. So, sorry for that. Also, I don't delete any comments. There's only one set of comments I can remember actually deleting, and that's because they were telling a minor to kill themselves. That's usually where I start to draw the line. My comment section is generally a free speech zone. You can say whatever you want in there. I don't think you're a mad crazy person, I just think you're an idiotic cruel person. Evidence for this is the raging hard-on you get when thinking about people burning alive. But I don't know, that's usually the litmus test I use. If somebody gets a raging boner thinking about somebody else burning to death, then yeah, I'll probably go ahead and say that they're maybe not a good person. Maybe, just maybe.
This idiot is a terrible artist. He can't even draw but wants to talk shit about something his tiny mind can't understand. This video is literally the reason the human race is failing.
I don't know about you, but the artists who draw my stuff actually put a lot of time and effort into it. Oh, but you would have known that I didn't actually draw my own stuff if you had seen the end of that video you commented on where it said who the artist of the actual stuff was. I mean, granted, we're going to be going over an art change here soon, but the fact of the matter is it's no secret that I'm not the artist behind my stuff. I commission artists for my stuff. The only thing that I have a lot of control over is my backgrounds and general aesthetic. The backgrounds I generally farm from video games that I've been playing. Most of them from World of Warcraft, but also a couple of them from Resident Evil. But even if I did draw my stuff, whether or not I can draw art has no bearing on what I'm actually able to talk about on the internet. It's a really shitty form of gatekeeping. It's putting an arbitrary value on something and using that value as the litmus test as to whether or not someone's allowed to talk about a certain subject. It would be like if I said, wait, you can't talk about Harry Potter. How can you even consider being an authority on Harry Potter when you can't even count up to the 100th decimal of pi? How can I take your opinions on the chemistry and romantic potential between Draco Malfoy and Ronald Weasley if you can't even count to the 100th decimal of pi? And don't even begin to try to assess the value of the ship between Neville and Harry until you can at least knit a handbag. Knitting a handbag is very important. But that said, that's all I'm going to be getting into in this video. The announcement I have, though, is that I'm going to be covering even more of these. See, I've got hundreds of these screenshots. I've got plenty. But I think that a lot of this might be more fun if we do it together. So starting next Wednesday, at least for a little while, we're going to be doing a live stream segment where we go over the comments from the Call for an Uprising fanbase. Strictly the comments from his fans on my videos. I'm not going to be going onto his channel and fishing for anything over there. I'm just going to be taking what is sent to my channel and responding to them live with you guys in the audience. And if you are a Call for an Uprising fan, hey, if you put a comment on one of my videos, this is your chance to talk about that. You can hop into the live stream audience and I'd be glad to have a conversation with you. But that all said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, share it with your friends, do whatever you want with it, and throw it in the garbage, I guess. It'll exist on the internet forever though. Subscribe if you haven't already, and as always guys, insert end of video tagline here.